let's walk this through and break it down in the simplest way possible. I'm walking through Times Square, which I do every single day in the afternoon on the way to the next show. I've got my phone on. What happens? What happens with the data that my phone is transmitting?
So your phone is constantly sending data to a variety of places. Mobile carriers, if you're searching something, there's something called beacon networks now that connect to what are known as software development kits that are in applications. And that data is, for years, it's been being transmitted. But up until recently, it really hasn't been put to use to what we believe is of value to the consumer. So in the past, that data was being monetized, but with little value to the consumer. Now you have that data being used the same way that it's being used online to give offers and display messages.
Who is picking up that data and how?
Well, the big tech companies. There are probably the same feeds from all the tech companies.
Right? Google, Facebook, Insta, whatever.
Yep. The mobile carriers.
The mobile, Verizon, T-Mobile, whomever.
Search companies, so companies that participate in the mobile ad space to display ads based on search behavior. It's slowed down a little bit. There aren't as many new players getting into the market, but that covers kind of the core three.
And they're picking it up either because I'm using my phone to do something that is triggering a response, or they're just picking up the signal.
Yeah. Or you've done something moments ago, and then you're moving past the screen. So let's say you're going out for dinner and you're looking for a great restaurant. The restaurant can target a screen in front of you based on knowing that you were searching for where to go for dinner.
So you walk through Times Square or any of these places, and you think all these digital billboards are pre-programmed, that they're just showing ads on a loop, when in actuality, many of them are changing the ads they show based on who is present in the area.
Correct. And it's only very recently that this capability has come to light and has been possible. It was about 3 years ago, and I believe that we were the first to put this out into the space. We are a connected media platform, so we work across email, social, broadcast, TV spots, even connected TV. So we went to a screen network back in 2016-17, and we said, hey, we believe that we have demand for this, and we ended up building a part of our program to support this transaction, let's call it, where an advertiser can go in and buy ad space based on who's in the area, and then slowly other people started to come to the market. One great partner is Broadsign. Broadsign is one of the largest player networks. They recently launched something called Reach, where we can programmatically hit tens of millions of screens around the world. So it sort of lightens the load that we have to carry on our platform by working with a partner.
So let me see if I can understand the chain of command here. Melissa's walking through the Times Square, and she's done a search on something, and that information goes somewhere to a provider or somebody. Then where does it go, and how does it get transmitted back so that in one block's time, Melissa is seeing an ad for
whatever I searched.
Whatever she searched for.
Yeah, so today you can go to any of these companies. I wouldn't say any of them, but most of them. And you could hook up to their what's called an API feed. Then you have to have technology like ours that triages it with a company like Broadsign through Reach. So it's happened in the online space for about 20 years now. But recently, companies like ours have really come in and connected those dots. Beyond that, let's say you go to that restaurant. OpenTable, if you made your reservation through OpenTable, we know that you went to that restaurant, you sat, and then we know based on phone data that you sat for an hour or 2 hours. So it extends from there, but it really is an immersive experience, and I do believe that we're going to start to see more of this, and we're seeing adoption by the consumer markets, which is great, because back in 2016 or 17, when we first said, hey, we should be buying this way, the technology didn't exist, and it scared people. You know, I'd heard in the lead-in that the term creepy was used. We used to use the same word.
It is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's creepy for me to walk by a billboard and then to flash an ad. I go to that store or restaurant, and they know how long I was there for and what I bought.
Yeah. Well, I think for now, we're at a great time. And I was just saying before that I feel like it's fun. You know, it's fun to talk about this stuff. People welcome it. I do think that it's going to start to become more tightly regulated. You're seeing this in Europe, Canada, California. And I think that for a period of time, there's going to have to be continued push towards turning off access. But
for right now,
yeah,
it's all good for you.
It's all good, and I think
until the regulation catches up.
As long as it returns value to the consumer. You know, we work with hotels, and people get free dessert if they, you know, if the advertiser is spending less on the ad, that can trickle down to the consumer.
Right.
And really, I think that's what we're going to start to see for the next couple of years. The consumer markets are going to really be okay with
Sure.
this. The advertisers are going to buy into it because it's a more efficient path. And we'll start to see regulators come in. And I do think it's a good thing because right now there are very limited ways that you could turn off data access.